First round of VHSL playoffs, scores and upsets. Belsino's Player of the Week update. Coach's Corner, Luke Owens from Central Warriors is going to stop by and pay us a visit. Big talk. VHSL point system. We'll take a look at some questions that people had this week. In top 5, we'll go over those again in 1A and 2A. Richlands and Ridgeview are our game of the week. Stump the Crig, all this and more tonight on After the Whistle. Gentlemen, welcome to episode 14 of After the Whistle. How's everybody's week?
Wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderful.
Cowboys pulled out one.
Cowboys pulled out one. Very cool.
The Cowgirls won. Bengals barely lost this week. They played New Orleans good. They got beat by 50.
Pretty good. I'm still waiting for a phone call from Tampa here. I'm expecting Dirk Cutter.
They had 501 yards of offense and scored 3 points. Now, how's that possible?
What's going on with the Hokies, boys?
Hokies, it's a conundrum. Who knows? All right, let's go over our mentions real quick. We'd like to thank our sponsors: Freedom Wireless, Belsino's Pizza and Grinders, Grundy Auto Sales, Hurley IGA, Hurley Pharmacy, Express Print Pack and Ship, Hurley Community Pharmacy, CarQuest Auto Parts, Wooden Horse Grill, Buchanan Pharmacy Associates, Plaza Economy Drug, Buchanan General Hospital, and Buchanan Therapy Services. We encourage all of our listeners to visit these fine sponsors and let them know that you heard about it here on the show. All right, fellas, VHSL first round of playoffs took place last week, and we've got some scores and some things to talk about here. No real big surprises, but that depends on, I guess, who you are. But nothing really out of the way. But Coach Krieger, take us.
All right, guys, starting with the single-away pairings, we have East Side at Chilhowie, and Coach Tester's East Side Spartans were coming. They were coming.
Yeah, they're on their way.
They're on their way.
Boys, everybody's got to come to the end sometime.
Chilhowie's going to bring a lot of teams
Yeah,
to the
Chilhowie's
end.
going to bring everybody to the end.
Chilhowie 49, East Side 0.
That's
I mean,
not really surprising.
When you got 22 seniors, that should be that's the score should be like that.
Right.
Well, once again, the East Side has not really been tested, so we're going to have to. I'm not East Side. East Side Chilhowie has not really been tested, according to Coach Tester. East Side. But
East Side's pretty battle tested too.
Oh yeah, East Side. Their schedule's pretty tough.
Yeah,
they play the double A's and the best. That's right.
Yeah.
But Chilhowie yet to be really tested, and here we are in the first round of playoffs.
All right, next game, guys, we have number 2 Patrick Henry versus number 7 Honaker. Patrick Henry 47, Honaker 7.
That surprised me a little bit. I thought Honaker would be a little bit more ready this time around. Shocker.
Well, it's Coach Palmer now. I'm rolling there. I know Doug there a couple weeks ago said he had some injuries, but he thought he would be healed up by.
No pressure
now
on Coach Palmer, but he's going to face Chilhowie in the regional title game.
I guess you've been right
No
all
pressure,
year.
Yeah. Well, that's
yeah.
You know, I mean, who would have thought 4 or 5 years ago that PH would be talking about them possibly being in the regional title game? So that's hats off to them for getting where they're at, and hats off to Coach Palmer really developing the program over there.
All right, going to number 3, John I. Burton versus number 6, Holston, which Coach Tester said, well, this is going to be a good game. This is going to be good. This is going to be.
What was it at halftime?
It's going to be good. Hey, does the game stop at halftime? Does the game stop at halftime?
Okay, our Greg
30, J.I. Burton 30, Holston 6.
All right, Greg, man.
That's why they play 4 quarters. But nonetheless, people that didn't pay for the price of admission got a
He must have been the first half of that game and won.
Yeah, it was. But Holston was game. But at the same time,
Holston's there. They've turned it. I mean, they proved that they're ready to play some football again. He's got them in the right direction, and if he has any of those kids back next year, they're going to be pretty tough.
Holston definitely turned the corner here. I don't think too many people thought they would win as many play as well as they did. Starting at the beginning of the season, I don't think none of us thought that. They got a couple of very good games under their belt, and then
Coach Patterson's did a good job up there with that bunch.
Jimbo in the game just a little bit too much for him.
All right, last game was number 4 Grundy hosting number 5 Thomas Walker, and
next.
55-13.
That game
We
was,
seen that coming.
that game was very ugly. What, Grundy hanging 35?
In the first quarter.
First quarter.
First quarter.
I know we all picked Grundy to win that game. I was surprised at how, I felt like Grundy would probably beat him pretty handily, but I was shocked at how quick they got on him. It seemed like it just one play right after.
I think anything that could have happened bad to Thomas Walker did. I think they had 2 fumbles picked up for touchdowns on them in the first half, first quarter maybe. So, I mean, you know, that didn't help things, so.
All
But
right.
Nick Johnson, you can't, he did a good job up there.
7-4, good season for
7-4.
Nick.
Well, it was a good season, like I said, all along. It's gonna be 7 games, but daggone, we'll come back to that 7-4 record here later on, and talk about it a little bit.
All right, we've got our AA guys, and first we've got Ridgeview versus Y Central, and it was Ridgeview 49, Y Central 14, which Ridgeview's been on top all year. Kind of not a, I mean, they're pretty much loaded. They've done that all year long.
Well, hats off to Wiseman for putting himself in a position to get into the playoffs.
Winning their last 3.
Winning out last 3 games there.
That's
So,
big.
and that's good because they got a young squad.
They got all freshmen and sophomore
To get a
players.
taste of that playoff
Quarterback
experience.
out. He had several out.
He's had guys, Coach Owens has had 4 or 5 injuries, season-ending injuries, plus starting 6 freshmen on both sides of the ball. Just getting them in and getting a taste of the playoffs was a good thing for them. But you know, having said that, Ridgeview just had too many horses for those young guys, and they're gonna keep rolling. So, but anyway, good season for.
Which
the
I
Central
heard
Warriors.
some stuff that Coach Owens should have put that Tester boy at running back. That's what I kept hearing. I don't know, they think that speed runs through the family, but.
I ain't gonna go where he's in the right spot.
Well, hats off to Ridgeview. We've been talking about them all year. That's the first playoff victory in school history, football team. What's the 4th year there for them?
Yeah, and like I say, boys, you never forget your first, so it's,
Yep.
they'll go down in history right there. That short picture will go up on the wall.
Yeah, that's fact.
All right, we got number 2 Union hosting John Battle, and I think that score was 21-0, guys. They shut them out less than a week apart almost.
And that, once again, another good game. Battle was game. I tell you, I think Battle's one of the most improved teams in there.
They are.
That surprised me. I thought it'd be.
I mean, does anybody know what they have any seniors or anything? Are they young? But they've played some pretty good football all year. But Union advances on. All right, guys, we got number 3 Graham hosting number 6 Virginia High, and Graham 42, Virginia High 18. Not a surprise there. Tony Palmer and now they play and Snake Palmer,
Cam Allen, David
yeah.
Lester, and
They
keep on naming.
They're rolling right now. I mean, they're kind of the team to beat. I feel like at this junction of the season.
Old Mo's on their side right now. Seem like they've got a lot of good momentum.
And Joe is.
Oh, Joe. Good, a lot of momentum going into the playoffs. Winning the district and then getting a good win like this out of the gate. Playoffs are a pretty good deal.
And the upset of the night, and I picked them, was number 4 Grayson County hosting number 5 Richlands.
Where's it at? Where's it at?
And
Where's
boys,
that
the
at?
cream don't
Where's it
need
at?
out
Oh,
today,
where's the
boys. We ain't sore today.
Yeah.
You might need to send some up to Grayson County.
Yeah,
But
Was
guys,
you on the bus?
no, I wasn't. But you know, guys, in all fairness and seriousness, you didn't really know how they would go up there and play because of the death of Devin Johnson. Suddenly, I mean, Coach Mance and Coach Davis, those coaches and those kids, they was taking that pretty hard.
Right, everybody.
I mean, it was bad. I mean, it was they had the kid that passed away the week before that, or a couple of weeks before that. Then they have this. They've been hit with some big tragedies here past month or so, and you know, they went up there and they win 10-0, and who knows if some of that was on just adrenaline and on just.
Right.
Well, yeah, both teams have pretty solid defenses, and Richlands didn't have just a little over 100 yards of offense. So every yard, every everything, you know, was vital in that game. They got a field goal. The kid may have used that man's cream on his
He
feet
did.
there,
They was.
but you know, so Richlands was game, but boy, they got a big one coming up
But
this week.
I have said it from probably week 4, week 5. You
don't
don't want to
Richlands.
play Richlands in the playoffs.
And now we got that very scenario coming up. You know, not
this-
just last week,
And this
it's coming
week.
up again
That's
this
right.
week.
That's right. Well, guys, that's it. Well, we've got a couple more up here. We have in the other one. Let's see. George Wythe 28, Covington nothing. They advance. Galax barely beat East Montgomery 55-8. Narrows advance 18-7. Perry McClure 44-13 over Bath County. So there's your matchups up in the other region, which that's going to be. I feel like
Radford Big Four, 22-0.
they did. Well, you got your double A. Radford 22, Fort Chiswell nothing. Gretna 35, James River 2. Glenver 41, Buckingham County 0. Appomattox 35, Giles 6. Oh, about Ralph.
Interesting note on the Giles thing there, and I may not be exactly accurate on this here, but 35 or 36 years, and I'm not sure, first losing season for Giles.
I hate that for. I hate that. I hate
so
that.
That's an impressive streak. The streak, I think it goes back to 87, somewhere around there. I can't
We
remember.
don't know nothing about them losing season.
I'm not sure, it might have been 82, I can't remember, but it was a long way back there in the 80s. So that itself, some things you never think is gonna end.
Can't win all time, boy.
5 and 6.
Can't win them all.
All right, now it's time for a Big Talk segment. The Big Talk segment is brought to you each week at this time by the Wooden Horse Grill, located in Hurley, Virginia. The Wooden Horse Grill is open Sunday through Thursday, 11 to 9. Open Friday and Saturday, 11 to 10. Wooden Horse Grill has home-cooked meals, smoked, grilled steaks, ribs, all kinds of stuff like that on the weekends. Stop by and check them out. Also open late after ball games. Of course, football season is now over, but great food there and great atmosphere. Stop by the Wooden Horse Grill. Food good enough to make your tongue want to slap your brains out. All right. Big Talk segment this week, fellas. We're going to be talking about the VHSL playoff format and some questions that games this week brought to mind for a lot of people. And anybody want to chime in first here? Well, I'll tell you what, I will. 2 teams out, now get what division it was, 2 0-10 teams in another region, both qualified for the playoffs, and
Didn't win a game.
didn't win a game. Both teams are 0-10, they qualified for the playoffs. And then here we have, I'll use a scenario like we got Thomas Walker 7-3 going in and getting beat pretty handily by Grundy. That's a pretty good record to go into playoffs with, as opposed to 0-10. So the people are complaining on both ends. People are saying, Thomas Walker, some
Should have been a 7 seed or something, or
You're not getting anything for strength of schedule. You just get, if you're getting wins,
that's what's.
that's what's getting you up there. Strength of schedule means nothing.
And you remember Coach Hubbard mentioned this very thing.
Yeah.
And Coach Palmer.
Yeah, Coach Palmer mentioned it as well.
Well, guys, like I said, from when we did this week 2 or 3 talking about the playoffs, it needs to go back to 4 teams
Also,
and get you points of beating. I mean, your strength of schedule is up there, and that's how you get your points.
they need to reward you for beating a single A school's playing a double A school. They need to be rewarded more points than what they're getting. So you're getting 16 points for beating a single A, and you're getting 18 points for beating a double A. 2 points.
That's nothing.
So if you beat a single A team
right.
that's got another win, then that double it's the same deal. So
Yeah, there's a big discrepancy there as far as trying to figure out how to do it. The thing is, a lot of people have misunderstandings. The Virginia High School League leaves all of this burden at the regional level on each region. The Virginia High School League does not create the format for the regional playoffs. Now, once you crown a region champion, then the VHSL playoffs takes over. And a lot of people are laying this at the foot of the VHSL, and it actually is not. It's a regional thing.
Right.
The regions is one.
So it wouldn't do right now double A school to play a single A school. It don't help them. Period.
It would hurt them more
by doing that.
by doing it. Yeah. And a single A school doesn't benefit enough by playing a 2A. it's not really worth it to them either.
Yeah.
So you can look, that's why the Hurley Twin Valley game was actually kind of a pivotal game. If one of them had won, their chances would be.
Well, one of them did win.
I'm speaking before the game was actually played.
Who'd y'all pick on that, by the way? Who'd y'all pick on that?
I picked Twin Valley.
I don't know.
You ain't never wrong,
I got
though.
CTE.
You didn't pick against your buddy, did you?
CTE, my roommate. I didn't pick against roommate.
Yeah, you did too. That was the only time.
No, I didn't.
Another thing, you know, like I said, a lot of people are laying this, but the state of Virginia is laid out kind of like a triangle, and the problem is the logistics of it. It's almost impossible for all four regions to ever come to an agreement on what's best for each region because of the traveling and stuff. So I don't think this is going to get resolved anytime soon. I know Coach Krieger says he thinks 4 teams.
Yeah, just go back though. So there wasn't nothing wrong with it then.
Well, ultimately, what's going to happen is the 4 teams that you probably think out of those 8 should be there. That's who the 4 teams are going to be.
That's right. They're going to be there anyway.
But last year, 6 beat 3.
Yeah, but that's rare. That's
5 beat 4.
That's rare. That's rare. But like you said, the way the points is, that 5 and 4 is no different. So go ahead and put them in that 4.
That 5 and 4 was different this week. Look at that 4 and 5 for Grundy and Thomas Walker.
Yeah, but the points are different than what it was back in the day. The point system.
Well, you know, back in the day, you know,
no, but that wouldn't have been there. That 7-3 wouldn't have been there. Probably Grundy would have been that 4 because of strength of schedule.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about old?
Yeah, the old point system.
But the old format, I mean, it was more rewarding. If you made it to the regional playoffs, it was a big deal.
Oh yeah, now it's.
And but another bottom line is, I got picked up some of this at one of the meetings up in Richmond up there. One of the issues is financially. A lot of people don't realize these championship games that are being played at some of the colleges and stuff are costing a tremendous amount of money for the VHSL to do this. They're not even making up enough money at the gate to take care of the expense that it's costing them to host these games. And in all likelihood, you're going to see probably in the future, you're going to see most of these games, either the championship games are going to fall back to smaller colleges or neutral high school sites.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. And if that happens, there's a good possibility that they could make the playoffs smaller because they're not going to need the money that comes with it.
Yeah. Well, guys, I went to watch my cousin Evan play Anderson County. It's up in Knoxville. Anderson County was 11-0. They beat them. They're one of the best football teams I've seen. I mean, they played Greenville Friday, and you know how good Greenville is. And this Anderson County, I feel like, will beat Greenville Friday. But guys, when they were coming out, they shot more fireworks and did more things and spent more money than Twin Valley, Hurley, and Grundy combined probably all year. Boys, I'm telling you, look it up on YouTube, Anderson County's football entrance. Go look it up.
It's crazy.
But I know that didn't have nothing to do with the point system. But
well, still,
they got to figure something out. Either go to 4.
Okay, well, that's what I was getting at. You had Elizabethton driving 2.5 hours to play. I don't know how Tennessee does their playoffs, but boys, if you got to drive to go play, you drive and go play. I don't know if they put them all in there and you just play, but guys, your 4 teams that's here right now: Ridgeview, Richlands, Graham, and Union. They ain't gonna be your top 4 anyway. So why play those other games?
Well, here's a scenario that's going to come into play. What you're saying, Region D could do exactly what you're talking about. Region D could say, we're going with 4 teams, and we're going to have our playoff, and maybe one of our teams gets a week off before. But what's going to happen is you're going to look. People in Region D are going to look, and they're going to say, we've got 4 teams going here. And then you go over to A and B, and they've got 8 teams, and you're going to have people saying, well, that's not fair. They've got 8 teams. That region gets to choose that, and it waters it down. And we could choose to go to 4 teams if we wanted to, but we're not going to because of that very argument that's going to be made. People are going to say, they're doing 8 over there. Why don't we do 8? And they don't. A lot of people look at it from the fact that they're going to the playoffs, but then again, you're going to the playoffs in 2016 or 17, and you going to the playoffs as a player, and you going as a player back when you was playing, 2 totally different scenarios.
Oh yeah.
You guys gotta win, you gotta go 9-1, 10-0 to get in playoffs.
If you didn't win your
What,
district, if you
what
didn't win
was
the
it?
conference.
James Colley,
Yeah.
Hayside went, and
9-1.
Hubbard and them both
Yes.
went 9-1 back-to-back years, and each team didn't make the playoffs.
That's right.
Every which one lost the district didn't make it.
Yeah,
That's right, but every game mattered.
Oh, yeah.
Every single game
mattered.
mattered.
Yeah. You had playoff atmosphere during the regular season.
Yes.
All right, we can beat this horse to death and it's not gonna do any good.
It's all about money,
It's
basically.
all about money when it comes right down to it. That's what makes the world go round. All right, we've got, that's all the time we have for a Big Talk segment. Each week at this time, we award our Belsino's Player of the Week. Now, this week we don't have a Belsino's Player of the Week.
Oh, yes, guys, not so fast. We do have a player of the week.
Who?
Yeah, boys. The Belsino's Player of the Week this week goes to the Tazewell Bulldogs defense. They didn't give up a point this week.
Pretty good. Who did play?
They didn't play. But Tazewell Bulldogs defense gets Player of the Week, Belsino's.
All right, there you
You're not
go.
gonna be allowed in Tazewell.
They're gonna ban him when he gets draft 19 out here. All right. Well, like I said, we don't have, well,
Would choose player.
it's according to who you listen to, player of the week. But what we're gonna do is next week we're gonna announce our player of the year. And I'm gonna let Coach Tester tell you a little bit about it there.
Well, it'd just be between all the players of the week we've had. We'll take them all and we'll just vote on it. And next week we'll have the player of the year out of all the players of the week that we've had. So we'll choose that next week. And it might be a little longer show. So.
Good job, Taz. Way to sneak in there at the end. Good job.
All right, folks. Well, that's all the time we have right now.
We'll pick you up from Hurley. We'll still got to pick them up from over there.
You run the bus.
They're stuck over in the mud.
You get done with that bus run.
All right, I
Did you
will.
say Mance picked them up and took them to Graham with him, didn't
Dropped
he?
them off halfway there.
Dropped them off halfway.
No, he picked them up.
Yeah, he picked them
He
up to
picked
go
them
to
up,
Graham.
and dropped them off on the way
Yeah,
back.
and dropped them back off. Says, gosh, he didn't score a point against Tony and the Palmers.
Oh, Lord. All right, now we're going to take a break. We'll be back right after these messages. All right, welcome back to the show. It's now time for Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner is brought to you by Grundy Auto Sales. If you're in the market for a dependable used car or truck, if your car or truck's in need of a tune-up, around the tires, need some general repair work, stop by and see the folks at Grundy Auto Sales located in Grundy. They have a wide selection of affordable, reliable, and dependable vehicles. Stop by and let Tim and Tammy Nichols know that you heard about them here on the show. Tim and Tammy's a fine supporter of the show and all Buchanan County football teams. And they are wishing all players to have a safe and blessed football season. Wish the Grundy Golden Wave a good run this coming weekend as well. All right, this time this week, we would like to welcome to the show Mr. Luke Owens from 6th Year. I'll pop some of that crowd front.
Yeah.
That's what I'll put that in there. Welcome to the show, Coach. We appreciate you coming by. It's a long trip, leaving you home there and coming down this way. Sure do appreciate it. Of course, he's familiar with these territory down in here.
That shows you what a show we got going on.
Yeah, we got
As far as they come.
He's got people driving from Wise, Bluefield,
Bluefield, that's right.
all kinds of places. But he's familiar with this territory. You know where you're at down
I
there.
do know where I'm at. It looks a little different than when I was here.
That's
The
true.
roads have changed a little bit. I actually passed up how to get down here the first time, but I appreciate you guys having me.
I appreciate you coming. Coach Tester's got some stuff for you here. We'll get started and pick your brain a little bit.
All right, man. Hey, listen, which I watched most of your games this year. I think I've seen 10 out of 11 games.
Hang on just a second before we do this. You got any cream for him?
I do got some.
You got
some blue cream. I got some blue
That's
cream.
right, that's a fact.
Remember now, you got a boy playing ball.
I know.
All right, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
All right. As I was saying, you know, he started out the season. I think you had a little rough stretch there. You had some injuries. You you had to overcome a lot of adversity. I think you had 4 ACL tears and lost your starting quarterback. But on a positive note, you know, you won your last 3 games to make it into the playoffs, and with 6 freshmen probably starting on both sides. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, you know, I think when we lined up against Ridgeview there Friday night, we had 7 on defense. But, you know, we went through the stretch there of 1-6. You know, when you go through our Mountain 7 schedule, it's brutal. You know, you're playing Grahams, you're playing Unions, you're playing Ridgeviews, Virginia Highs, you know, the list goes on and on. And, you know, we started, I think, 7 freshmen on defense there towards the end, and we were starting 6 or 7 freshmen on offense. But, you know, the kids, and I respect our kids because, you know, even when we went through that stretch of 1-7, you know, those kids showed up practice ready to work. You know, they came in, they dug, and I told them day 1, you know, we're going to be a lot better football team week 10 than we are week 1. And I think, you know, they bought into that. And they kept grinding, and then we get the first win against Lee, or the second win of the season there against Lehigh, and it just kind of rolled from there.
You know, I was talking to Tyson, you know, earlier in the season and seeing the stretch of schedule that you guys had to play, and you know, I was trying to, you know, keep his spirits up, and he's sitting there at 14 years old, you know, playing linebacker and having to see the Grahams and the Unions, and, you know, and those type of teams, and I said, man, that's not going to do anything but make you better, and it's going to make you battle tested, and just keep fighting. And not only him, but all those freshmen, man, they just, this way I watched them, they just kept fighting. The Gate City game, the Lehigh game, the Grundy game, and they was, to say that about a bunch of 14 and 15-year-olds keep fighting and clawing like it is, and that speaks volumes.
Well, you know, you look at it in the last 3 games of the season, we pretty much had to win on the last play of the game, every one of them.
Right.
You know, we decided to go for 2 against Gate City, you know, there in overtime. Made plays defensively. We grew up as, you know, we were struggling defensively because if you look at our defense, we had 4 freshman linebackers.
Right.
We had 2 freshmen in the secondary. We had 1 freshman down at defensive tackle. But, you know, they grew up. And those freshmen at Lehigh, when they got the ball back and we're up a touchdown, you know, they make some plays there at the end of the game. Against Gate City in overtime, you know, go to overtime and you look at Gate City's team compared to our team and the size advantage. I didn't feel real good about it from going from the 10, you know, and trading with them. So
I'm not gonna lie, I thought when I seen Gate City come on the field,
they were big.
I said, they're in trouble.
They were big, you know, and it goes back to us, you know, running 14 and 15-year-old kids out there. And, you know, when we initially went out for the kick the extra point, we were faking the extra point. And I didn't like how, you know, the defense was lined up there. We called a timeout. We called another timeout and kind of got the leverage that we thought that we could get to sneak the ball in there. And CJ did a good job getting it across the goal line.
I liked it, man. Hey, nothing to lose.
Everything to gain.
Yeah, everything to gain. You know, the pressure, I didn't feel like the pressure was on us at the end of the year. But, you know, the kids stepped up. And I think it's great momentum going into next year.
Right.
You know, these 14, 15-year-old kids that we lined up with, they have rejuvenated me, and I'm super excited right now about getting this season started.
Well, it just goes to show you too, these young kids, that's put a lot on you and your coaching staff. You all had to keep them motivated all year long when the going got tough. Mm-hmm. That's a good job on your all's part. I mean, to give you all some credit, I know it's the kids, they work hard, but you all kept them positive, and next thing you know, you're in the playoffs.
And you know, I've got a great group of coaches, and my coaches, you know, I put a lot of that on them. You know, we've got great coaches that kept motivating the kids and kept being positive, and I think that's the big thing. We kept being positive. You can't just go in and browbeat. We were positive with them, you know, during that stretch, and they got better. And they got better, you know, and realistically, there was a couple of games that during that stretch of 6 losses, you know, maybe the Virginia High game, if we don't do some things in the first half, we're in that ball game.
Right.
You know, if you know, the John Battle game, you know, we lose our starting quarterback Wednesday leading into that, and the offense is geared to his strengths. You know, we can't change everything offensively on Thursday, so we're playing a freshman quarterback in there with an offense that's probably it's not geared towards his strengths. And then we got things changed after the next week, and we started rolling.
You guys come out, talking about the game that's going down. You guys are, you know, everything's geared toward him, and then all of a sudden you got to change things. Was there anything in particular that said go to the wing T, or was it a gut instinct, or do you just feel like that best suited your quarterback at the time?
I thought it best suited not only our quarterback, but I thought it best suited the group of young kids we had, because we had two kids that we felt like that we several years ago, way back, I guess when we first consolidated, we ran this offense. And we ran it a lot when I was helping with J.J. Kelly when I was an assistant under VHSL. And we ran a lot of wing T stuff. And the first year that Coach Mullins, which now coaches for me, was the head coach there at Central, we ran this double wing, double split offense. And we thought, we toyed with it some in the preseason, and it just didn't kind of go our way. But then when we kind of got rolling here, we didn't really have a choice. But we felt like we had a kid at fullback, Matthew Boggs, that was, he would hit the dive up in there. And we knew we had two kids that can run out there at wing and run the jets and run the counters and all that stuff. So we didn't have a whole lot of a choice, but I think it was the right decision that our offense coordinator made and I made to go this direction. And this is probably the direction we're going to go in from here on out.
That's great. It's good to hear that. That's a tough thing to be able to have to be forced to make a transition. But now, Coach Krieger, he's one thing I know you are, and I've always been a huge fan of it, and myself.
And I have been a fan of it, and we got away from it more because of the type of kids that we had.
Athletes.
We had an athlete at quarterback there with Dalton Mullins there for a 4-year stretch that he could really do some things. And we felt like the spread when Isaiah McAmis was our quarterback, because he could sling the ball around. He had a good, strong arm. And we thought that was the type of offense that was going to, be more suited for his strengths. But now that we got, when he goes down, we put an offense in that helped our backs, took a lot of stress off of our young quarterback, and was spotty with when we threw the football. And he got our quarterback. Over the last 3 games or the last 4 games of the season, Ethan Mullins got a lot better, and he's going to continue to grow. I mean, we're talking about a 15-year-old kid.
I think he won you the Grundy game with his feet and the interception at the end of it. All these, just getting him involved with his feet, and the defense that he played there at the end and picked that pass off, man.
I know a lot of people was around here shocked that the way you all played them, but the way I figured Grundy and
who was shocked?
Just the Buchanan County area, not Hurley people. But I mean, I picked you to beat them. I had a good feeling about where you was running the football and you could keep the ball from them. But you got up 2 scores, and probably there a couple times could have went up 3 scores, and really it might not have been close. But Grundy battled and got back in the game.
Grundy did, and looking at us and Grundy too, that was another. They were a lot bigger than us. We knew the only chance the chance that we were going to have is if we kept the ball away from them, because Pfizer is pretty dynamic. The quarterback really hurt us. They ran a lot of counter stuff with the quarterback, and the Endicott kid, he really hurt us a lot, running the football. But our kids kept battling. We got up 2 scores, and with I want to say 9 minutes to go there in the 4th quarter, and I was feeling pretty good about it. And then all of a sudden they get the ball back and they score in 3 plays, and then our offense kind of stalls out. But our defense made plays when we had to, and then little freshman Ethan Mullins playing safety comes back there and picks one off to seal the game.
And he basically has a JV team out there playing.
Well, I don't think that skill-wise it's not a JV team.
No.
Age-wise, yes.
Age-wise,
yes. But now skill-wise, these kids, and the great thing about it is, we lost Friday night. These kids are right now in the weight room back Monday morning, and they're eager to get this thing rolling. And they, I heard them talking. These 14 and 15-year-old kids, we got 300 days to get better to get ready for this thing. And that's their mindset right now. And we've got a chance, in a year or so, to be a pretty good football team, to be a real good football team. But we're going to have to grow. We're going to have to mature. We're going to have to develop kids, and we're going to, we're overall going to have to get better as a team.
Well, as a coach, when you go into that last game of the season, and the season's over with, and you walk in the locker room and you turn around and look and you see all those kids, and the majority of them are coming back. That's a darn good feeling.
I think we're going to return, I want to say, 9 starters on both sides of the ball. And the thing about those 9 starters, we're going to have a lot of them for 3 years and the majority of them for the next 2. So it's going to be a fun time, I think, over at our high school, getting ready to play, getting ready for the upcoming season. But we've got to put in the work, and the kids have got to put in the time to get better over the winter and over the spring and over the summer.
Well, at least you don't have to look at them like Coach Robinson does at Chihowee when his last game ends, probably in the finals. He look at them and be like, God, am I going to coach next year?
Yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow when you look around and you see all those kids. Coach, we appreciate you coming. We want to ask you to sit in with us the rest of the show here and chime in on some things. It's time now, each week at this time, we go to our moment that I guess the show that a lot of people look forward to. We get a lot of comments about it, and it's Stump the Crig, brought to you by the CarQuest Auto Parts. CarQuest Auto Parts is located in Hurley, Virginia. Stop by and see those folks over there. If I can find my little blurb here on, oh yeah, here it is, I got it. CarQuest Auto Parts, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Saturday, 9 to 12. See them for all your auto part needs over in Hurley, Virginia. They'll hook you up. That's CarQuest Auto Parts. Like I said, each week this time, we ask Coach Krieger a couple of questions. We try to dig deep into his mind, extrapolate some of the wisdom that he's got, and hopefully we can stump the Crig. We've been trying now for 14 weeks. I have here in my possession
a bunch out there thought it was funny.
They thought it was. I have in my possession an envelope. This envelope has been hermetically sealed and placed in an envelope and in a bank vault for the last week and under guard, armed security for the last 24 hours. It was delivered here by an armored truck, and a guy got out and had it handcuffed to his wrist in a briefcase. And I think it's one of those briefcases that are bomb-proof or whatever. Anyhow, whatever the deal is, it's very tightly sealed and secured. He has not seen or heard these questions. So there's no way that this system is rigged, and I'm about to read the first question, and so we'll open up the envelope, and the first question we have this evening for Stump the Crig. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
He is ready. All right. If two left-handed people argue, which one is right?
Well, that was easy question.
All right, easy one, see. All right, go ahead. I'm interested in the answer to this. Two left-handed people argue which one is right.
Well, if two left-handed people argued each other, and one of those was a Krieger, that the Krieger is right.
The Krieger would be right.
Go down there to McDonald's in the mornings and take a left-handed person down there and let one of them Krieger brothers put their right hand behind their back, and the Krieger will be right.
The Krieger would be right. I'd have to. If you've ever tried to argue with one, I'd say you would probably agree with that.
I tell people when we have our Krieger dinner, write down any question, any surgery, any medical, anything, any sports that you need, write it down, and I can get the answer for it in that party, in that day, during the Krieger Christmas.
Y'all hear that? Send all questions to Tommy Krieger at Tommy.Krieger at McKinney-County-Schools.com, and he will submit these questions to the family during Christmas dinner, and I'm pretty sure he's right.
Won't they answer?
That's the truth, they will. And I'm sure there'll be more than one answer, and all of them will be right. All right, so we failed to stump him on that one. We've got one more question for you here. Wasn't able to take care of that one. All right, let's see here. If a person is blind and has a dream, can they see it?
Oh, absolutely. I close my eyes all the time and can see it.
Yeah, but you've seen before. What if they've never seen anything?
But they've seen it. They go by hear and smell and stuff.
So they smell in their dreams?
They smell in their dreams, and it makes the animals and the stuff appear. They can hear.
I mean, did you block for him?
I did.
Is that why?
I've known Tommy 30-some years now.
Him and Church, and Marcus Stilton, and Roy. Well, that's why I can't think and stuff right now. My brain don't work.
You had the cleanest jersey in Grundy High School history.
We played on all them nutty fields everybody worried about playing on, and didn't even have to take a bath after the game.
Untouched all night.
Well, when Luke centered for me, didn't even have to squat down. It's like I was in shotgun under center. It was awesome.
Well, we got time for one more question here. We might as well ask it. If you expect the unexpected, does that make the unexpected expected?
Yeah. You're still unexpected. When you expect it and it happens, it's still unexpected that it happened. You're shocked.
But you expected it.
Yeah.
You expected it, so it wouldn't be unexpected.
But it was unexpected because usually we're not right.
Now we're done lost.
That's right, see, because I won again.
3-0, boys. 3-0 playoff
Today.
week here today. He is 3-0.
And I'm gonna
except
save
he
my
gets to
real
his
magic.
picks.
I'm gonna save my
He gets
real.
to his picks.
I'm gonna save my real magic for that Richlands Ridgeview game.
Oh boy, I can't wait to dig into that one.
Yeah.
All right, well, we failed once again to stump the Crig, as usual. I mean, did anybody really think we would? I'm starting to think it's impossible. At this time, we'd like to recognize our sponsors one more time. Recognize Freedom Wireless, Bellacino's Pizza and Grinders, Grundy Auto Sales, Hurley IGA, Hurley Pharmacy, Express Print Pack and Ship, Hurley Community Pharmacy, CarQuest Auto Parts, Wooden Horse Grill, Buchanan Pharmacy Associates, Plaza Economy Drug, Buchanan General Hospital, and Buchanan Therapy Services. Okay, let's see what we got here. Reminder, anybody that listens to the show, you can catch the show on Facebook. All of our links are actually on our Facebook page. Just go to @AfterTheWhistle, SWVA, and it will have the show. Our YouTube show is up on there, and our podcast info is there as well. If you want to just Google the podcast, go to afterthewhistle.podomatic.com and catch it. But to make things easier, just go to the Facebook page and you can find it all. All right. Let's see, where we at here? Stump the Crig, Hurley IGA. It's time for Dotson's IGA Top 5. Top 5. Each week, this time we bring Top 5, courtesy of Dotson's IGA. Stop by and check out Dotson's IGA Express in Hurley Square. They're known for their fresh meat department. In addition to that, they have all types of steaks, a variety of meat trays, fruit trays, vegetable trays, cheese trays, anything like that. You need it for a party or celebration. And holidays are coming up, so it's a good time to order those items from them, and they'll take care of it for you. Stop by and check them out. It's Dotson's IGA Express. Dotson's IGA Express, hometown proud, Dotson's IGA.
Guys, and you know what? There's one thing about the IGA meat. You don't need your teeth to eat their meat.
You hear that? That's
pretty good meat, boy.
That's pretty tender meat if you don't need teeth.
You don't need teeth to eat the IGA meat.
That's pretty good.
They give you a job over there.
That's a fact.
So now
You can't beat their meat either.
you can't. There you go. You said it. I'm not going to. So let's take a look at the top 5. Coach Tester, take off with it.
We're going 1A first.
Sounds like a winner to me.
I think we
Winner, chicken dinner. Here we go.
chicken dinner. Hey, I don't think we got a change right now in the 1A and top 5 1A. We still got Grundy at number 5, John I. Burton at number 4, Patrick Henry at number 3, Galax at number 2, and Chill Howie at number 1.
What was that?
No changes. Galax and Chill Howie still at the top.
Only way that thing's gonna change is when Chilhowie plays Galax. That's the only possible time that top can change.
I agree with you.
So
That's going to be a good one.
And Galax just got a little boost to the program, I believe. We might talk about that in a minute.
we might do that next week.
What about that?
Oh.
Recap that one more time.
All right, number 5, we got Grundy. Number 4, we got John I. Burton. Number 3, we got Patrick Henry. Number 2, Galax. And number 1, Chill Howie.
All right, 2A. Let's take a look at them.
2A, we got a switch up at 4 and 5. We got Grayson County at number 5 now, so they finished 5th. They are out.
Yeah, Grayson season ended this past
The
week.
Blue Tornadoes are at number 4. The Union Bears are at number 3.
The Bears.
And the Wolf Pack is at number 2. And Tony Palmer and Chris Austin, Snake Palmer's G-Men still hanging in at number 1.
Boys, we're gonna see a change in that this week too.
All right, let's recap 2A one more time.
All right, number 5, we got Grayson County. Number 4, Richlands. Number 3, Union. Number 2, Ridgeview. And number 1, Graham.
Graham's been there for a couple weeks now, and those things are starting to get interesting. That's what we've been waiting for all year. All right, that'll do it for our top 5, brought to you by Dotson's IGA. Now we're gonna take a look at our upcoming playoff games this week. Upcoming playoff games and predictions are brought to you by Buchanan General Hospital. Celebrating 40 years of service to Buchanan County citizens, Buck General Hospital strives to provide comprehensive health care services to everybody with a caring, competent staff dedicated to meeting the community's needs for safe and efficient quality. Buchanan General Hospital provides quality care at a very reasonable cost too, not quite as expensive as some of these other places you might go to. Phone number is 935-1000. That's Buchanan General Hospital. 40 years of service here in Buchanan County. God, I remember when they built that place.
I remember it was right over here.
Yeah, I remember it was the Gold Grundy Hospital. Yeah, I used to sit right out here. That's been a while. All right, we got a lot of games to look at here. Coach Krieger, we're gonna let you start us out.
All right, well, guys, right here on the
He's
docket.
on Pinterest over there.
He's over
on Pinterest.
All right, first game on the docket that we'll go over will be, let's go with the single A's first, and we will go with Union, or no, that's double A. Bulls, they've got it all.
How about G-Dub Galax? Let's go down the list.
Well, you want to just go down the list?
Oh, yeah, let's go
Well,
down the list.
we've got George Wyeth, number 4, and number 1, Galax. And guys, Galax is going to roll.
Galax, I'll take Galax, but I'm telling you, GW's going to give me.
No, they won't. Galax got the ringer.
Okay. Oh, that is right.
Yeah.
Galax.
We got the inside scoop on this, guys.
Inside
We're not
scoop.
gonna say it over
For
the air.
$9.95
Yeah.
subscription, we'll let you in.
We will
on the
let you
inside
in
scoop.
on why Galax might win the state championship.
Galax by 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Coach, you want to chime in on that one?
I guess I would have to go with Galax since Coach Krieger down there's got all this important information.
I do, for $9.95, guys. PayPal. All right, next game, guys, we have Perry McClure at number 2, Nars. So
I thought it was Nars.
I have no idea. Boys, I know Perry I know Coach Testers knows a little bit about Perry McClure. They was pretty tough a couple years ago. I don't know what they've lost or what they have, and I know Nars had a decent season this year, but I don't know.
Perry McClure's an old school double tight
Run
T
it up.
formation. We played them 2 years in a row. They play old school football. I don't know a whole lot about neither team, but
I'm going with Coach Kelly.
I think I'm gonna go with Coach Kelly also.
I think I will. Go with Nars.
I'm going to take Perry McClure in this one. I think that old smash mouth football is more suited for playoffs than other stuff is. So I don't even know what Nars does, but I'm going to go with Perry McClure.
All right, now we got the game of the week. You want to hold off on that one till the end? Oh no, the game of the week's on down. My bad. Next game, we got Grundy at number 1, Chilhowie, and guys, Richlands should have started Monday. I mean, we've said it all year. I figured at this point Grundy would be 10-2 playing Chilhowie in the region finals, but they're playing them a little earlier. But the outcome's still going to be the same. It's going to be Chilhowie, just like they've done everybody else, by 25 or 30 points Friday.
I hope Grundy can go up there and put up a good showing and put up a good fight. And, you know, I think Pfizer may squeak 1 or 2 runs out here and there, but guys, they're disciplined and solid at every position. And
Sanchez probably going to squeak out about 4 or 5.
Well, guys, they got Sanchez, Kale, they got another Blevins kid, you know, and they got, there's no weak spots.
Well, they're not number 1 in everybody's poll for no reason.
Yeah, there are no weak spots.
I mean, nobody's putting them there just because.
And but they got too much for Grundy. I'm gonna say 42-7 Chilhowie.
Like I said, I like to see Grundy do well. I think they're running into a buzzsaw when they go up there, Chilhowie, and it's gonna be a packed house. It's gonna be a big crowd there. A lot of people are gonna come. I know Chilhowie's got their eyes focused on Pfizer. I think what we saw last week at Grundy is what we're gonna see again this week. Unfortunately, Grundy's gonna be on the other side of it.
Well, listen to a few stats here on some of Chilhowie's players. They got Zach Kale, quarterback. He's 54 for 87 for 950 yards, 10 touchdowns. He's rushed 86 times for 556 yards, 13 touchdowns. He's got 1,510 all-purpose yards for 23 total TDs. And guys, he's pretty special. I mean, he can run it, he can throw it, and he makes great decisions.
How many games did he sit out the third and
Oh,
fourth?
gosh,
Yeah.
guys, that's what I'm saying. These kids, Sanchez and the quarterback and stuff, they set out the second half in almost every single game they played.
Sanchez, let me tell you a little bit about him. He actually just set the school record with 5,044 career rushing yards up there.
Is that all?
He rushed, this year he's just rushed 127 times for 1,420 yards, 11.2 yards per carry.
Wow.
So he's and 20 touchdowns. So he's probably not played in the third and fourth quarter.
No, he has not
You
played.
know,
I mean,
so,
I was talking to a couple coaches. They have been taking those kids out in the third quarter. They haven't played a full game yet. And, you know, that might hurt them down the road. And I'm not going to hurt them this week. But Sanchez, well, I mean, you got to look. Sanchez is, probably unanimous player of the year. I mean.
You're probably going to have Sanchez,
Yeah.
Pfizer, and the Patrick Henry kid, which has over 2,000.
Well, you got
rushing.
Jimbo's quarterback,
Yeah.
but still, you've played Chilhowie, Sanchez is there. I know the stats is not, Visor has 2,700 yards, but Sanchez is 1,500. They'll say, well, he didn't play the second half in every ball game.
Well, you got Gabe's rushed for 2,396 yards. I think his stats stay, and has close to 300 carries. So anybody that rushed over 2,000 yards, man, you got to give them props. But
That's right.
Chilhowie's got too many of those kids.
I'll tell you something, they come
Well,
into play, and I think these coaches are very, very respectable coaches too. I think they're gonna try to put the best players on that all-region team and stuff like that, but something they're discussing right now is actually altering, the current method where the final two coaches, they go to the finals, instead of just allowing them, talking about maybe putting the top three.
Well, that already happened
coaches.
this year, because Coach Church is going to the region meeting.
So they did, they
Yes,
had to prove
they did do it.
because we were discussing it the other day, and they weren't sure if they were gonna do that.
They did it in volleyball too. I talked with
Yeah.
Coach
So
McConnell.
that's gonna, that could have an impact on who gets selected to that team, but, naturally, if you're in the finals, you've got a better chance of getting one of your players on there.
Well, you got the kid from Patrick Henry too. He's rushed for close to 2,000 now.
I said Brown, he's got right over 2,000 yards
Yeah.
on 162 carries. So, he's averaging right at 12 yards a carry.
All three is going to be first team, but I feel like Sanchez will be your player of the year.
Well, I think the region winner's gonna have
The big.
the say, and probably should have, but I hope Grundy goes up there and can play a tough game and keep it close. But I think
They've been 10
Owens.
teams try that so far. 11 teams have tried that.
Well, guys, they shut out. Was it Virginia? I've seen Virginia High when they played Luke and White. They got some kids, man, and
Speed.
Jai beat them 41-0.
Yeah.
Just shut 'em
Virginia
out.
High was a very senior laden team.
Yes, yes. So, boys, they're not number one for, just a bad draw.
Yeah.
Bad draw. That's what made that J.I. Burton Grundy
Yes.
game
Such a pivotal game.
big game. That was a big game. Jimbo knew that too. That was their region championship game right there. So now he plays, which Patrick Henry ain't no pushover.
Yeah.
So, but I got Chilhowie too. So Chilhowie's still
Who you got?
on number one.
Chill out.
Who you got?
I like to see Grundy go up there and do well, but I've seen when I was preparing for Ridgeview, I saw Chilhowie play early in the season. They're an awful good football team, so I'd probably have to say Chilhowie.
All right, guys, next game we have Gretna, number 4 at Radford. I'm going with Radford just because it's Radford.
Yeah, I got Radford. Radford has been improving the last 4 or 5 weeks. They've just been on a roll.
Radford.
All right, Appomattox at number 3 at number 2 Glenver. I thought Appomattox still was the.
Well, Glenver's the real deal.
Did Appomattox have a lot injured or quit or? I'm going with Appomattox.
I'm gonna go with Glenvar on this. They put a whipping on Coach Dixon and Galax, which that shows you Dixon's strength of schedule. So,
That's right.
Yeah, I'll take Glenver as well on this one.
All right. The only reason I'm taking Appomattox is they made that Mance cream the real deal a couple years ago. I mean, they needed it. I mean, a lot of Richlands people needed that man's cream after that game.
That bunch tough.
Yeah. All right, guys, we have number 3, Graham, at number 2, Union, and we gonna ride out with the G-men. I figure we will. I am.
Who you got?
I got Graham. Boys, Union not playing good football right now.
I agree with you.
I mean, they're coughing the ball up last 3 games. I think they've coughed it up like 15 times.
I think Union is, they went into the playoffs not with the momentum that they wanted, you know, toward the end of the season. And I think Graham is going in the opposite direction of them. I think Graham's going to surprisingly, convincingly win this game.
Graham is hungry, you know, and I think they want some revenge for this game last year. They don't do good at Bullet Park, but I think this week they're going to go down there and Cam Allen's going to show out, Devin Lester's going to show out, and Tony Palmer's going to be doing the jig in the locker room after the game.
He's going to have that pressure washer out, pressure washing them jerseys.
Snake will be doing the flat foot.
Chris Austin might even get in there and do a little bit of jig.
That's right. But
What you got, Luke?
I have no clue. I'll say this. Bullet Park is an awful tough place to go play. It's a pretty intimidating place because they'll be packed out from early on.
Yeah, they'll be there hours before the game
you know, those Union fans are very loyal fans. You'll have 3 and 4 deep around the fence there. It's an extreme, you know, the Union team isn't the same team they had last year. But Bullet Park is an awful tough place to go play.
all right, now next game we have Abingdon, number 3, at number 2, Lord Botetourt, and I'm going with Botetourt. Coach Harless.
Because you're his buddy.
Well, hey boys, I was up there when they played when Richland or Abingdon. Gosh, that's cream on my mind, don't it? Abingdon, when they had Sturgill at quarterback, all these good players, boys. Harless beat them. He pounded them, grinded it, buddy. Old school,
You know what I
smash
think
it.
it is, though?
It's a chocolate
That
meal,
chocolate
boys.
meal.
It's
They
the chocolate
transported
meal.
from Royal Retreat.
That's right. That's a fact. It comes from Royal Retreat.
I told you about that chocolate milk. I don't think it ever give me some diabetes. But I'm gonna pick Botetourt. But I tell you this about this
Abingdon
game.
football team.
If Abingdon can make a game out of this could be a really big game for them.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Win or lose, even if Abingdon can keep this game close, this is gonna be a huge step for them. But I think Botetourt's just got too much.
Botetourt went there and shut Bluefield out of the end zone. I mean,
Out of the end zone.
Yeah.
What did they score? Did they even score 6 or was it 3?
No, 3.
3 points. Held Bluefield to 3 points. Best team around here.
You know, and I never did get that ice cream. Remember that?
Somebody said.
Remember that guy was gonna give everybody ice
Oh,
cream?
that's right.
I
He
never
did.
got mine.
I didn't either.
And I haven't forgotten about it.
All right, guys. Number 5, Pulaski. Number 1, Blacksburg.
I think Stephen James, Pulaski team there, is probably excited to be in the playoffs, but probably not the season that he expected based on what I read in the early season reports. I think Pulaski was probably picked to do a little bit better than what they did. Blacksburg probably rolls in this.
Yeah.
Like going with the Blacksburg.
All right, guys. Then we have number 7, Keister.
Kaiser, I think. Keister.
At number 2, Bluefield.
That's Bluefield.
Yeah.
The
Bluefield.
Beavers.
I think Coach Simon and the gang's going to march all the way to Wheeling.
And now we've come to the time where the man is jumping off the roof.
That's right. Each week at this time, I want you to imagine a man. And as we imagine this man is falling helplessly through the sky. Imagine that he lands on top of your house. He's a lot like your cell phone bill. He's through the roof. We don't fix roofs. We do repair cell phones. And we've got an unbelievable selection of cell phone cases and accessories that just came in. Largest selection we've ever had. And we're going to mark them way down, top major brands, all the way from now through Christmas. So stop by and see us at Freedom Wireless. And if you're interested in DirecTV, we've got you hooked up there. And we've also got Hive TV, $20 a month. No contracts, no obligations. You get unlimited television. You get all kinds of pay-per-views and programs like that. And it's all simple in an app. You don't have to buy anything. It's at Freedom Wireless. Check us out at gofreedomwireless.com and give us a call, 276-244-1407. All right, fellas, here we go. Play game of the week.
Richlands, number 5, at number 1 Ridgeview. And I said at the beginning of the year, you do not want to play them in the playoffs.
Well, it's going to be a good one.
Ridgeview's number 1 in their poll, or are you talking about?
No, they're number
okay.
1 right
Number
here.
1 seed.
in
I got
seed.
you. Okay, I got you.
So,
Who you got?
You want to save yours for
I
last?
will save
We'll
mine
break
for
the
last.
tie here. We're going to start down here on the end of the table.
Well, now I'll tell you, I saw, I had to.
Up close and
I
personal.
was up close and personal with them twice this year. Ridgeview's not a good football team. They are an awful good football team. Very balanced, got multiple weapons, and their defense is pretty stingy. The middle linebacker, the Sproles kid, is a very good football player. Up front, they're good. I think it would be hard not to pick the Ridgeview Wolfpack on this one because they are they are a very good football team this year.
Hey, I will mention something about that. You said you've seen them twice. Big difference second time around than it was first time.
It was.
Y'all played much better.
We did. We grew up a lot, but now they're awful good. They are an awful good football team. You know, I expect them to probably go deep in the playoffs because they are a very good football team. And Coach Mullins does a great job. His whole staff does.
Coach Mullins, great coach. Great coach.
So I'm up, huh?
Yep.
Guys, I think, you know, we was talking about earlier, nobody wants to play Richlands in the playoffs. They're well coached, they're going to be ready, they're battle tested. I wouldn't want to face Greg Lance in the playoffs, especially in the first or second round, him being an underdog. And they're playing with a heavy heart right now with, you know, Devin Johnson and, you know, that whole community. So, you know, they're going to be ready to play. And but I've seen Ridgeview twice. I've watched him play Coach Owens over here twice. I've seen them on film a couple times, man. They're very balanced. They're well coached. The Atkins kid, the Sexton kids, like you said, multiple weapons. It's really hard to pick against them. They are physical. They're probably the most physical team that I've seen this year. They're nasty. I mean, they get after you. And I think they're going to give Richlands trouble up front. And I think Sexton, you know, the speed of him. And here's what bothers me. I don't think Richlands runs the ball well. And I think to go this deep in the playoffs and beat a team like Ridgeview, you have to run the ball well. And I'm going with Coach Rick Mullins and the Wolfpack to do it over there on Rose Ridge, and I'm going to stop at the Comptons and get some of that wolf cream that y'all talking about.
All right, well, it's up down to me here. I'm it's not a cut and dry decision, just like you guys are talking here. I agree with you. You got to be able to run the football when you get in the playoffs. I think Richlands, you know, prefers probably pass the ball, and as stingy as Ridgeview's defense is, I think that's going to be the difference. But actually, well, the difference as far as Richlands struggling last week, you know, put up a red flag for me. Not taking anything away from Grayson, but I think that's going to be an indicator of what's going to come. I think the big difference is going to be Sexton and Atkins, and I'm going to go with the Wolfpack.
Mm-hmm.
You said it awful quiet, man.
Mm-hmm.
Going with the Wolfpack. Okay, and you'll see me over. I'm gonna get some wolf cream too. So here we go. I wonder how this pick will go.
Oh, he's on the spot. He's put the Wolfpack helmet.
Hey boys, I am a Wolfpack fan.
Oh, we know how that's going.
I'm a Wolfpack fan.
But
Coach Mullins is one heck of a coach. Has a great coaching staff. Has great players. I mean, anybody would want to coach Ridgeview's team and be
this
in
is
this
called
spot.
the flowery buildup.
And but what steps out to me, or what I'm thinking of, is what game did Ridgeview lose? Who'd they lose to? Abington.
Oh, the Abington game, yeah.
Abington threw the football. I understand you all said that, and you know that if they beat Abington, I'm all over Ridgeview. Bar none, they're gonna win the ball.
We just sat here and talked about they got hosed on 2 calls though.
They did. But Richlands can throw and a little bit better offensively than Abington. I feel like. I mean, Abington's a good football team. Abington's a good football, but they didn't against Ridgeview. They had to throw to beat them.
But they had the threat of running the ball.
No, they didn't. They shut the run down. They couldn't run it, period.
Well, if Ridgeview is suspect on any,
That's right.
It's a suspect, it probably
It's
is.
throwing.
It's
And
pass
Mance will
defense.
find that way. And you know, both defenses are good. I'm looking at 13-12.
You don't think Rick Mullins is over there getting down with spread
100% he is.
with Sproles
But
and
then
Sexton? And
but he coached that Abington game just like he's going to coach this playoff game. I feel like,
He
well,
did
boy, it's
the
going to
same
be
way.
gas.
He
I'm
did it the same way.
looking at 14-13, 14-12, something around that. And guys, I said it from day one.
Mance, you are coming to the show next week.
You don't want to
if
play.
Richlands wins, because Krieger
You-
is going to get, he's got a
You
massage
don't.
away.
You don't.
We got Marvin Gaye queued up
Guys.
and we're ready to go.
Guys, I said it from day one. You don't want to play this
Oh, I
bunch in the
agree.
playoffs.
I agree.
You don't want to play it in the playoffs, but they are, and they are playing the number one
You
team.
made a good
Ridgeview.
argument. You made a good argument. You actually put a couple of doubts in my mind.
So
But I'm still going with the Wolfpack.
The Wolfpack.
You put some doubts in my mind.
no, guys, I'm going with the Blue Tornadoes to win a close one like last week. Defensively, they're going to give themselves a chance, and they're going to hit a couple passes, and they're going to win the football game in the fourth quarter. I'm going to go with the Blue Tornadoes. Not like I said, guys. I'm not bad. I'm not throwing off on Ridgeview. Boys, they can easily win this game. Easy. But I
Richlands
feel
does have a good defense.
Yes.
Their defense is good. But I think Sexton and Atkins is going to pound the ball in the fourth quarter and bring it home. The Jimmies and the Joes.
I think
They got
well,
more Jimmies
I
and
agree.
Joes than Richlands.
They do, but here's what's going to happen. I think.
So you said Mance is going to outcoach Mother?
No. I'm not
Don't be
saying
scared,
that.
man.
I'm not. Boys, both of them's coaching. Both of them's won state championships. I'm just going, if Richlands shuts down that run, which they can,
They're
both
capable.
of them, they can shut both of them down,
Right.
and make Ridgeview throw, that's something they don't want to do. I'm not saying it could happen, but it's a possibility, and I'm going to go with the Blue
They said that
Tornadoes.
James Colley stepped on campus this week and inserted some stuff going on over there.
Well, now I'm going to have to go rethink this
Brought
now.
3 gravels and a pop bottle cap and he
Yeah,
laid it right
drew
down there
some
and
up.
drew it up. I heard about that.
Well, guys, I'm going with the Blue Tornadoes. I've been with them and Ridgeview all year, and I said
No,
you
you
didn't
can't
want
be
to.
with both of them this week now.
We
I'm not. I picked. I'm going to go
The
with the Blue.
Wolfpack.
We
Blue
have
Tornadoes.
separated the wheat from the chaff.
The
So
big R, boys. The big R. And you know, guys, whoever wins this game, or if you, both of you want to do, even if you lose, Coach Mullins, Coach Mance, please come to the show next week. We'll be more than glad to have you on this show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, we got one more game we didn't mention there.
Absolutely.
This is a big one. Hey, Jimbo and Coach Palmer.
2 veteran coaches going at it. Revenge.
Boys, you get that ticket
rematch.
to play Chilhowie.
But you know, both of them wanting that ticket. Everybody wants that ticket. You know, this time of year, you don't care who you're playing. You want to be playing the next round.
Well, you got 9-1 versus 8-2. Is that right?
9-1, 8-2. I'm
Is
looking
that what
at a picture
Jimbo?
of old Jimbo right there. Both these guys been coaching at small schools their entire career. And now here they are in a big game, and the winner gets the ultimate prize here. They get to play.
But
They both done played them in the regular season.
Oh, they get to go
how'd
back.
that manage out? Which, boys, Patrick Henry did play them closer.
Yeah.
But can you go by stuff like that?
You never know in the playoffs.
I think with Jimbo Adams and Burton, you look at it on paper and you say, all right, based on what you're talking about, PH should win the game. But at the same time, Coach Adams has so much experience in games like his. Taking nothing away from Coach Palmer, but Coach Adams has been, he's been in 5 state championships. The preparation at this level, the experience that he has is he's going to be more prepared. I just don't think they have what it takes to slow him down.
I agree. I mean, well, they did Jimbo. They played Grundy, gave up a lot of rushing yards against Grundy. They gave up a couple big games rushing wise. Still won the game, and you got to run him back. Brown at Patrick Henry. I think Brown's going to be too much. I think that Patrick Henry can outscore him, and I think Coach Palmer and the Rebels will go on to play in the Region Finals.
Probably the biggest thing all three of us missed here.
And Jimbo's young too. I mean, they got a bunch of young kids.
Is the fact that the revenge factor that PH has. Burton sent them home last year in the playoffs.
They did.
So they've got that revenge factor on their mind, and I'm sure that hasn't been brought up a couple of times this week during practice. So, yeah, so you're going with?
I'm going with the Rebels.
I'm going with the Rebels.
I'm going with Patrick Henry.
I'm going with Coach Palmer and the Rebels. Also, I think Brown's gonna get loose on them, and I think he just got too much. I think Patrick Henry is a little better than John I. Burton, just from what I've been
More
observing.
experience,
older,
older.
and I'm going 42-21 PH.
You got it.
I don't know. I saw Patrick Henry on film earlier in the year, and they're an awful good football team. But I saw Burton too. They're an awful good football team too. I think that's a close one to call. They're both
It's
quality
gonna be a
head
good
coaches, got quality programs, and I think both of them are pretty good, really good football teams.
Be a good game to go watch.
But what we all can agree on is it all ends
For the winner.
next week.
Boys, you never say never, but it sure does look like that.
We're gonna eat some crow bowl. Somebody doesn't want one.
Let them do it, boys. It is what it is. Nobody's done it yet. They ain't come 25 points.
They sent me home last
They-
year.
All right, folks, that's all the time we have for the show this evening. Do want to remind everybody, next week we're going to recognize our Player of the Year, and you can catch the show on YouTube or on Facebook or on podcast next week. We will not be on the radio next week on MJD, so you will be able to catch the show with one of those other formats.
Unless somebody gives us some money.
Yeah, somebody hands us over some money. But you'll be able to catch that, and we'll show will be a little bit longer next week. We're going to have a little bit of fun and give away a few, not a giveaway, but recognize a few awards that we're going to come up with and recognize here during the show, and I'm sure you'll enjoy that. Until next time, we're pretty much done.
Coach Tester.
Coach Moore,
Coach Krieger.
practice is officially over.
Takes the snap, short drop.